High up in the clouds, Jenny Holmenes is in her element. Her aim is to master an aircraft in any position and altitude. At this year's Norwegian Aerobatic Championship, she wants to prove her skills.
I became a pilot because that was my childhood dream, really. I've always been a person who has, well, since I was a little kid, enjoyed adventure and kind of things that go fast and like carousels and roller coasters, and really enjoy that.
Jenny is still a novice in aerobatics. She finances this expensive, high-performance sport by working as a flight instructor. Jenny's workday begins at the private airfield near the small town of Arendal in southern Norway. Student Elsa is planning today's flight.
Disconnecting the autopilot a little bit earlier because I want to fly it manually more as well.
All right.
Not just on autopilot. So yeah, that's the main focuses today.
Good.
Student Elsa is about to complete her 2-year training. Together with Jenny, she checks the Cessna, as is mandatory before every flight. It was by chance that Jenny became a flight instructor and pilot.
In Norway, it was voluntary for women to join the armed forces. When I was 18, 19 years old, they asked me what my life plan was. At that point in my life, I really didn't have a clue. And he looked at my tests and said that, well, with the scores that you've presented today on the tests, I would like to recommend you for the Aviation Academy in the Armed Forces. Then, at that age, I started to pursue aviation as a career, and since then really fell in love with it, both as a job, but also as a kind of hobby and a passion.
Jenny has been working here as a flight instructor for 2 years. Her student Elsa wants to work for a major airline in the future. She's financing her training with a loan. It costs around 100,000 euros. The student wants to fly without autopilot for as long as possible today, meaning she wants to determine course, altitude and speed on her own.
4 hours.
Jenny only intervenes if her student makes a mistake.
Norway is a long country, and it's also then quite diverse in the nature we have. Here we have quite a lot of students coming from abroad, and I think they get a unique type of training because of the diverse environment that they're flying in.
Norway has 150,000 islands and borders the sea in the north, west and south. Its almost 30,000-kilometer long coastline is one of the most spectacular on Earth.
But now the wind is from the side, but like it's fluctuating from being favorable.
60 trainees are accepted to the flight school each year. Most are male.
Women are definitely underestimated in this whole pilot aviation part, but it's getting there. More and more women dare to actually start their career as a pilot. Jenny is just one of the good examples. She just did it by herself, and same with me as well.
Later that afternoon, end of the workday for flight instructor Jenny.
I'm driving to Kristiansand, to Kjevik Airport, to pick up Alexandra, or Lexi, which is a really, really good friend of mine. She's also a pilot, and I'm super excited for her to come down here to both help me out a bit and be here as mental support, and also, of course, for us to just hang out.
Lexi has taken time off. She works at an Air Force base in the far north. A few months back, the two of them were still working at the same flight school and shared an apartment.
I've known Jenny for longer, and we just became instant friends so quickly. Feels like we've known each other for years, and that kind of friendship doesn't come about all that often, especially when you're when you're a grown-up.
It's on the south coast of Norway, in the small town of Arendal, that Jenny's at home. 200 years ago, this former seafaring town was one of Scandinavia's richest. Wood and iron ore were shipped from the harbour. Today, 40,000 people live in Arendal. Wealthy ship owners and merchants once dwelled in the old town, and its picturesque wooden houses are still standing today. Jenny and Lexi visit the town's viewpoint. Although they're pilots, the height is a bit hard for them to take.
It's manageable.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd probably still die. We'd die.
I'm afraid of heights. This is fine, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, that kite. Yeah. We have to consider the risk of dying every day at work.
Don't think too much about it, but it's like once and again when you're in a tricky situation, then you're like, this is not a good place to be.
Yeah, I used to have this saying with students, like, it's better to be on the ground wishing you were in the air than be in the air wishing you were on the ground.
No.
Because I've been in that situation a couple of times where I have been in the air and I wish I would have been on the ground at that point.
The Norwegian Aerobatic Championships starts in 2 days. In order to clear their heads, they go on a sailing trip in the beautiful Kristiansand area. Jenny and Lexi are sailing with 2 friends.
Quite early on when I was a student, I met some people and they first of all didn't believe that I was studying aviation, and then one of the guys asked me like, okay, but what was your name again? And I tell him my name, and it's like, oh, but you like your full name? I was like, okay, well, like, why do you want my full name? He's like, so if I ever get on a plane in the future, then I will go off and just deboard because I don't want to fly with you, essentially. But for once, I actually had a quite good comeback, and like thought of it immediately. So I'm like, you know what? If I give you my full name, I also want your full name. He's like, oh, okay.
Blacklist you.
Like, why do you want my full name? I was like, because if I ever see your name on like the passenger list, I'm just gonna cross you out and ask the crew to take you off. And then all of his friends were like, oh, ooh, you offended the wrong person.
Yeah. It's hard to be a pioneer.
On the way back to Kristiansand's harbour. The coastal town is a popular resort for sailors and tourists from throughout Norway. The friends visit the fun fair together. Jenny wants to go on the wildest ride with her friends. Here too, the acceleration force pushes their bodies into their seats or pulls them from them, yet not as strongly as in aerobatics. Final training before the national championship.
In the beginning, I was really disoriented, and flying aerobatics, I've never gotten kind of sick, or like I can feel, of course, the G-forces, but I don't get uneasy about it. But the more I fly aerobatics, I feel like I get that. I expand my capacity, I expand my situational awareness, and that kind of really, I feel like, falls in line with my mindset of how I can become the best pilot I can be.
The extreme diving and climbing maneuvers teach Jenny how to handle critical situations. There are only few aerobatic coaches, as the scene in Norway is fairly small. Jenny's coach has been flying for 40 years. Ivar Dyrdal is a retired military pilot. Final advice before the competition.
And you have quite a number of very good women pilots doing aerobatic. She is well above average. So some of the fundamental training is not fully there yet, and so we will see tomorrow if and this is also a competition. You know, the nerves and the pressure is there, but definitely she will master this, and she will be able to progress, and she will definitely outclass some of the guys.
For aerobatics, I'm now all of a sudden a student again, but I think it's also really valuable for me because it checks myself and my abilities as an instructor, and like going into the other role of being a student again.
Jenny and Lexi jointly discovered their love of aerobatics a year ago, but only Jenny has completed enough flight hours to qualify for the competition.
We actually started the theory course for aerobatics together, and the plan was also for her to compete this year. Unfortunately, due to a new job and a big move, she hasn't been able to complete her training this year.
After training, the pilots rent a plane for a round trip towards Stavanger in the northwest, past the fjells, the barren plateaus, and along the fjords. They both love the spectacular view from the air. Norway, the land of fjords. Millions of years ago, water and ice penetrated deep into the landmass, creating a peerless labyrinth of blue-green watery valleys. The following day, and they're up, the two friends on their way to the championship in Skien.
I'm super excited to see how it will go. Of course, a bit nervous as well, but and I am like a competitive person, but I've really just decided to set the bar low and it's like, okay, I will be a part of it. I will compete, but it's not. I will not be disappointed if I don't get the gold.
We're here.
Yes, we are.
Arrival in Skien, one of the country's oldest cities. Aerobatic pilots from all across Norway have arrived at the airport. The Grenland Flying Club, founded in 1942, has invited them all to the championship. Two luminaries of the sport are also attending.
Tore Thoresen is my name. We are at Skien Geitryggen Airport in Norway, southern Norway, and so it's National Aerobatic Championships. It's in 4 different categories, different difficulty levels, and we both fly in the advanced category, which is the highest category in this competition.
Well, I'm 85 years old, and I have no really specific plans of doing this very much more. So this is probably the final national competitions I'm flying in.
Well, he says probably, so we'll see.
Gathering in the clubhouse. 22 men and 2 women competing in 4 categories.
Usually one starts with competing in primary, but my instructors wanted to push me a bit and challenge me and encourage me to compete in Sportsman instead.
There are also the intermediate and advanced categories, albeit only for experienced aerobatic pilots. The second female novice pilot is about to compete in the primaries.
I'm very happy that we are 2 women and not 0 this year. As far as I know, there have been any women competing since 2014. So I hope that maybe the next year and the years after that we can be even more women.
Tension is rising. Once again, the choreography of the flight maneuvers is internalized. Jenny is preparing in the hangar. She's up next. Every single maneuver is evaluated by the jury. Points are awarded according to the precision of the rolls, loops, eights and turns. Penalty points are given to those who fail to stay within the box, the aerobatic field in which the pilots fly their programs. A huge challenge for Jenny.
A couple of new things, both flying here, flying in the competition, like in the box that I haven't been doing before. So that was a new experience and kind of getting the feel of how wide it is and how high it is, because it's only 1 kilometer like long and wide and 2,000 feet high. So it's not the space I've been used to maneuver within.
Now it's Jenny's turn. A safety pilot is accompanying her. Both have to wear a parachute and their seatbelts have to be extremely tight. This is vital for their survival. Then Jenny checks the wing steering. The plane was designed to withstand the pressure and centrifugal force of extreme acceleration and directional change. Jenny needs 5 to 10 minutes for the presentation of her 10 figures. During her set of maneuvers, Jenny is exposed to G-force of such enormous acceleration that only few pilots can withstand it. Jenny orients herself using her onboard equipment and by checking wing position, even during her head-over-heels maneuver. Jenny flies the aircraft in a loop that turns it upside down. She must manage to complete her entire maneuver within the defined airspace box. The jury pays explicit attention to this.
There she is, out of the box. It's quite small, traveling at 200 kilometers per hour. So it's quite common that beginner pilots fly outside the box.
Jenny had only previously seen the position of the box on a satellite photo. Her flight on the first day of the championship did not go well.
My expectation was that the safety pilot would be quiet and let me do my flying and not talk. And of course, also since it is a competition, that's how it's supposed to go. And I got some comments that threw me a bit off. Also that, I was doing the wrong maneuver when I was doing the right one, and kind of it gets in your head, and was not able to kind of get out of that. So I felt like my whole flight was quite hurt by that, and so I made an appeal to see if it was a chance for me to do kind of another attempt at the first flight.
Later in the afternoon, Jenny and Lexi visit Shen to take their minds off things. The jury has not yet decided whether Jenny will be allowed to repeat her initial flight. The next morning, the last day of the championship. The morning meeting in the clubhouse for all competitors. The jury accepts Jenny's appeal, so she'll be the first to fly.
Litt endringer I flying order. Jenny flyr først, en gang til. So the jury decided that she will have the opportunity to fly one more time with a new safety pilot.
Jenny is ready for her repeat flight. She's in luck. The safety pilot this time is her coach Ivar. Jenny has to demonstrate her 10 figures in the box again. And endure the powerful G-force that can restrict her field of vision or disrupt her balance to the point of loss of consciousness. She withstands it through deep breathing and by exerting her muscles. At the same time, Jenny has to keep an eye on everything: her position, the speed, and the designated box. The competitors are sympathizing with Jenny. The aerobatic rolls, loops, climbs, and dives look so effortless, yet require the utmost concentration.
I think it went quite nicely. I think it was her best run yet, but of course she might feel otherwise. I'm not up in the plane with her, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how she feels.
Nice job. Went much better second time around. I remembered all my maneuvers, and then it's just up to the judges to give me some scores, and we'll see. But I'm really happy myself, and for this being the first time both flying in a box, doing a competition, being really new to aerobatics and everything, I just very happy to have finished.
En til flight I dag, vet du.
Ja, nå vet jeg hva jeg ikke skal gjøre neste. I will be competing next year, absolutely, but I just need to figure out which club I'm doing my training at this point.
Krane, tredjeplass I primary med 62,2%.
The award ceremony of the Norwegian Aerobatic Championship takes place in the afternoon. Jenny's performance didn't win her one of the top spots this time round. As a novice in the Sportsman, the second combat class, she finishes 8th out of 10.
I definitely am going to continue with flying aerobatics and also compete. So next year my goal is to get a better scoring than this year. So we'll see how it goes.
The next day at the Kristiansand Harbour, the friends are enjoying the sunshine.
Det var solnedgang, det var latter, det var sang, det var sjø og magi, det var løgn, det var meg, det var himmel som aldri vil dø, det var evighet, og en sol som farget himmelen rød, det var øl. Nei, det var ikke øl.
Jenny will continue on her quest for challenges while turning the world upside down from high in the skies.
I want to experience kind of everything within aviation. I want to experience being an instructor. I want to experience doing aerobatics. I want to experience being a skydiving pilot. I want to experience kind of flying different type of aircrafts. For me, the motivation has always been to be in the air, to fly.